Hi guys, this is first tutorial for series of C programming for Unix or Linux. Why did I mention Unix or Linux? Because C behaves different on Windows and than Unix or a Linux machine. And by the way, C behaves same on Linux and Unix machines. Uh, by same I mean almost same. So whatever gonna I write on this Linux machine, if you are using a Mac or any other Linux distribution, it will run it, right? And but if you are using Windows, it uh, might need some revision, like because some libraries are called different on Windows than Linux. But if you are using a Windows machine or a computer, you can always try a Linux distribution. Here is a link of one, ubuntu.com/download. Here you can download distribution of Ubuntu, and you can install a, uh, a Linux inside your Windows or alongside your Windows, so you don't have to lose anything from your Windows, but you can still use a Linux, right? Or you can fully remove also, you have that option too, right? So if you want, you can download it from here and follow the tutorials, or alongside, if you are using Windows still, I will try to point out where something differ between Unix or Windows. I'll try my best for that. So first thing, for our tutorials, to start our programming in C, we need a text editor. If you have something already in mind, you can use that, or I'm gonna use this one, Sublime Text 2, right? And here I'm on the download page, so just download the tar3.bz2 and then extract it in your home folder. Show files. Okay, here is it. Now I'm gonna extract it here. So after extracting, I got it here. Here is the folder Sublime Text 2. So let me close all that. So if I go here and open this, here are the files, and this is the main file or the execution file. Always check if it's in the permissions, if it's take allow executing file as program. If it's yes, that's fine. If it's not, just take that one up. And on double clicking, here is my text editor. So this is the text editor. You can use something like gedit on other Linux distributions, or if you're using Windows, you can use Notepad++. Remember, Notepad++ is different than the default Notepad, right? So you can search it up on Google or something. Or if you're using Mac, like you will have your some other favorite IDE or text editor, or you can use this one too. So after having an IDE, the next thing you need is a compiler. A compiler is something when you write your program in C, the compiler turns into binaries which a computer can understand. So a computer can't understand when we write a program. A compiler converts into a binary program, and then a computer is able to understand it and run it. So to get our compiler, you can use basically two compilers, GCC and Clang. GCC is on default installed on most of Linux and Mac computers, right? So you don't need to install it if you're gonna use that. Or if you're gonna follow up with me and I'm gonna use Clang, for that you can just type Clang and it will tell you like program is currently not installed. To install it, by typing this sudo apt-get install Clang. Depends which distribution you are using of Linux or Unix. This line may be a little different. I'm sure it's different for a Mac, and if you are using something like Linux, like Fedora or something, it will be sudo yum install Clang or something. So here I go. Enter your password and it will start installing. Okay, unpacking, setting up Clang. Okay, so our installation is done for Clang, and for now I can close the terminal. So now it's the time to write our first C program. To write our first C program, we'll have to make a new file, save as files. Okay, overwrite, replace. Yeah, so I created a new file named file1.c, and now I'm gonna write my first C program. Every C program should have a main function. So what is a main function? So this is my main function. So it says, just should say one int. So basically what it means is, I'm gonna try to explain you. Int means it will return a type of integer, the function, and main function is the one which runs when you run your C program. So it will be always same. So you can say like this chunk of code will be same for each and every program. So it's like boilerplate. Boilerplate is something called in programming something when you start writing your fresh program, there is few lines of code which are standard to use, right? So integer means like your main program will return a int, and main is the name of the function, and these are some parameters by default. These they remain always same, right? And after this the curly brackets means like whatever is your main program should be written inside them. And this is a comment which starts by slash star and code slash star, right? A comment means that this line of code doesn't affect anything. It doesn't mean anything. So if you remove it, same, and if you don't remove it, it's still same. It's just for our own purposes, just for a programmer, when a programmer writes a program. So if some other programmer needs to see it, so he can understand by your comments like what goes where and what means what, right? So basically this is a empty main function. To write something inside it, we will use print statement, and print in C is used as printf. So whatever we write after printf and brackets and then these semicolons, so whatever we type will be printed in our program, right? So let's start with hello world. I just write hello world because if you read any programming book or anything, the first program is always a hello world program, but we will add something more also. This is my first C program, right? And printf, or basically you can use this line of code again and again and it will keep on typing the same thing in your program. The word is not gonna end on 21st December. Basically I'm reading a lot about this on internet everywhere. Even if I don't want to read, something will come up about 21st December or something. So we added a bunch of printf statements. So remember, whenever you are writing a printf statement, write printf, then brackets, and then within these curly brackets, within these semicolons, type your text or anything, whatever you want to type, right? And in the end, don't forget to put a semicolon. Semicolon is something like a full stop in English language. For computers, it's semicolon. So if you don't put semicolon, it will generate some error or something. And you need to import a library. CLU include, what was that? Include. Wait. Uh, why do you need to write this first statement? It means you're gonna use a library which has the function built in printf, right? To use printf, you need to include this line in the top always. So before writing your main program or something, like your main function, you always include the libraries required by the program. So if we are not using these printf statements in our program, we can remove this line of code, or this include stdio.h. What include means, like, I am using this library, and stdio.h means .h means a header file. We'll know later in the tutorials what are header files, and std means standard, and io means input output. So standard input output, so include standard input output dot h, so which have the printf function built in to print what we wrote. And we are done writing our program. I'm gonna save it, and then I'm gonna go to the terminal, and we're gonna run this thing. So where are my terminal documents? docu documents plus cdl languages c files. So basically I came in from my terminal where I am in the exact directory where my this file is located. So if I type ls means list files, right? So it lists directories actually, ls. So it lists like file1.c, right? So now becomes the compiler part. Basically we are finished writing our program, so we are gonna compile it. So to compile it, I can use gcc file1.c. so right, gcc is for my compiler and file1.c is my file name, right? And when I press enter, notice here I will come into documents, languages, c files, file1. So right now there is just one file right here, and once I compile with gcc file1.c and press enter, a new file came up, a.out. So what is a.out? a.out is the output file generated by GCC after compiling, which doesn't contain my code. If you open it, it doesn't contain code. It contains the binaries after compiling the program, which I can run it now. So how to run this a.out? a.out is actually the output of file1.c. So to run this file, I need to type /a.out. Why do I need to put /? It means this file a.out is in the current directory, right? So I'm gonna press enter. See, whatever we wrote here, hello world, it starts hello world. This is my first C program. The word is not gonna end on 21st, and then again the terminal starts, right? But notice one thing here, there were different lines, but here there are all same lines, because in C code it doesn't matter I put how much space within my program. So right now I put like 2 spaces between each line, but it's still gonna generate everything in just one line again. See? So to tackle this problem, I need to tell my program that I need to start a new line every time. So how to start a new line? \n means a new line, right? So I put 2 \n in front of hello world. So it means there will be 2 empty lines before my program runs, right? And 1 empty line after this, and 1 after this also, and 2 again, right? Say start of program Right, so now I just added two lines, start of program and end of program, which will tell us like, okay, our program starts running and our programs end running. And with slash backslash n lines, it will generate new line characters, I mean new lines within our program, right? And for that, if I go again and type enter, it still runs the same thing. Why? Because when I write the file last time, even I saved this file, it's still gonna generate the same output, because a.out is generated when we wrote the program last time. After that, I never created a new a.out file. So to create a new a.out file, I need to run my compiler again, which is gcc file1.c. It comes here, right? Now this is again a new file. This time it runs as expected. Now after gcc, we're gonna use clang, which we installed, by the way, for using. So after this, I'm not gonna use gcc again, I'm gonna use clang for rest of the tutorials, right? So I'm gonna use clang clang file1.c. so it again, okay, wait, to show that, I'm gonna delete this a.out, and see, clang also generated the same file a.out, and it runs in a similar fashion, /a.out, start of my program, hello world, this is my first C program, the word is not gonna end, and end of program, right? So this time it has the new lines and everything, it's kind of formatted and looks clean and easy to read. So other thing, whenever we're gonna compile clang with clang, right, we will be using few things. First thing is clang dash wall. So what this means, why to write after clang dash wall, dash and with capital WALL wall, it will generate all the warnings in our program. By warning, warnings are different from errors. Error means something went wrong. Warning means that this is not how it should be. It's running, but it's not kind of correct, right? So even if you, like, let's say you have an exam for C, but you are reading a novel, you are kind of reading something, but it's not what you are supposed to read. It's not gonna help you, right? So let's take warning, something like that. Or usually, like, someone warns you, like, okay, like you are not doing something wrong, but you are near to do something wrong, right? So warning is not good for programs. So whenever we're gonna compile from now, we're gonna use clang dash wall, right? And after that, we're gonna use our file1.c, the actual file which we are compiling, right? So right, it also generates a a.out, but we're not gonna use this line either, but we'll be using clang dash wall file1.c, whichever. File1.c, replace file1.c with any C program you write. So if your file name is file2.c or anything else, like first C program or something, go ahead, it's fine, right? After that, we're gonna press dash O. This is alphabet O, not 0, in small letters, right? Dash O. After that, I will run. What is run and dash O? By clang, I mean compile the program with clang. By dash wall means generate all the warnings if my program have any warning. After that, file1.c is the input file which I wrote. Dash O means output. So instead of a.out, I'm gonna tell it that generate a output file which is named run, right? So let's say if I have more than two C files in this folder, right? One is file1.c and other is file2.c. So whenever I compile one file, the a.out file is gonna get replaced by the previous program's a.out. So I will have to compile every time, right? So for that, we use this line, so .o run. So run, right now when I'm gonna press enter, I have a run file, right? So how to run this file is dash slash run, and it runs, right? At the same time I can file 1, right? See, it generated another output file by file 1, and file 1, it runs, right? So this was it, and see, there was no warning generated, so our program is fine by the compiler, right? And to make it read easy, we can add few comments here. These are some print lines to output some text. You can write anything in a comment, right? Just to make easy. So let's say after 2 months you open your program, you can still know what you wrote before. And by the way, this comment is a multi-line comment, so, and this comment is a single line comment. So when you put 2 times slash slash, so the next line is comment, so you can just, whatever you wrote is just a comment. But if you start something like this, unless you put star slash again, it will be still considered a multi-line comment. So multi-line comment, right? So you see, so even after writing this many lines of comments, if you run your program, it still stays the same, because comment lines doesn't affect anything inside the program. So I think this is the end of the first tutorial, and we'll continue soon. And thank you for watching. You can send me a message on YouTube channel for now, but I'm gonna soon start a forum where you can post your problems, like if you don't understand anything, and I'm gonna provide you a website link also soon regarding these tutorials, so where you can download the source code and all the tutorial files are managed, and there will be a forum where you can discuss and ask for help if you're stuck at any program or something. Okay guys, thank you for watching.